Here's how to file on TurboTax. So I'm going to kind of go through this overview of how to go through your taxes on TurboTax. I'm not going to take you through every single step and fill everything in because everyone's got a different situation, but I'm going to show you the layout, and I'm going to also show you how to start for free, possibly filing your taxes for free. And then if you do have to pay anything and you want to start with a 20% discount, you can click the link in the description or top comment down below. It is an affiliate link that helps support this channel, but gets you 20% off any TurboTax product that you have to pay for. So you're going to start on this page. She's waving. And we're going to hit got it. Now, you're not going to click any of these. This is TurboTax recommending you a product. So we're going to leave those not checked and hit continue. And then we're going to say we're comfortable doing our own taxes. And you might not be, but it is still a step-by-step guided process. If you need help, you can always upgrade to be able to talk to someone about your taxes. Hit continue, and we're going to be able to start for free. Even though I know I'm going to have to pay for taxes, I always start for free so that when I do have to upgrade a little bit, I can select the cheapest one at that point. So hit start for $0. 37% of you or so, they say, qualifies to actually file for that simple return and file your taxes free. But that's the only way to actually do that. Otherwise, you're on a product where you have to pay. And so then we start to choose things that that do apply to us. So you answered this the way that it matters to you. For me, I filed my own taxes. So I am going to hit continue. And then I'm going to be in this TurboTax dashboard. And so this is how to file on TurboTax, right? So this is how I would go about looking at this and knowing what's what, what's where. This all looks confusing if I've never seen it before, but we're going to start on the left, or this way maybe. I don't know which way the camera points, but we're going to start in the upper left-hand corner here. You've got tax home. We click on that. We would see things here like previous tax returns and documents, your account. So you might have your user ID and all that kind of stuff that you need to change around or something, your email. So your account stuff is there. And then when it's tax season, you're going to see something that says like continue filing. So wherever you're at in the tax filing process, because you can start this and it auto saves. So you can just like leave and come back and log in again and continue on. So you can continue from wherever you are with this button here. And so what this would do is take you to that spot. And if you're just starting, it's going to be your info. And this over here on the left-hand side is like the agenda of filing your taxes. So you fill out your personal information, which is more than one page, but it's just in this My Info section. And then you go through your federal taxes. There's a drop down here because there's these different sections, because you can use these to click on to go back to certain points in filing. So if you don't have every form yet, you can still fill things out and skip some sections and go back to it and put in that information when you get the form, etc. And so you have wages and income. You're going to go through deductions and credits, and then other tax situations if they do apply. And TurboTax is going to ask you step by step, question by question, everything about these different situations. And so then you have the federal review, which is basically TurboTax looking through everything that you filled out and saying, hey, you're actually missing a section. Let's go back to it and kind of fix it. And then it'll take you to state taxes, which is kind of a similar flow here. And it will bring over some of the information from federal. So you don't have to fill out all your information again because TurboTax already knows your personal information. And then it'll review everything just to make sure that you're not missing anything here or there. And then you finish and file. And finish and filing is literally if you have a product you have to pay for, you enter in your payment information, enter in where you want your refund to go to, how you want to receive it. You might have to electronically sign a few documents that allow TurboTax to actually e-file for you, but that's pretty much it. And then it wraps it all up for you and you're finished. And then on that tax dashboard is where you're going to be able to see your refund status, whether it's been accepted, it's processed, it's on its way, all that kind of stuff. And so then down here we have a tax tools section, and we have tools, which there's a few things in here, like you can look up your fees if you have any fees, view your tax summary, you can clear and start over if you need to, and then save your return to your computer, etc. So there's some options there. The print center is also where you can preview your return and I believe save it and print it. And then you have some options down here. TurboTax is owned by Intuit, so if you need to change anything with your Intuit account, you can do that here. And then you can switch to Spanish if you need to. And then you can also switch products. So if you found yourself on a product you didn't want to be on, you might see a downgrade button over here. You'll definitely always see an upgrade button, and you'll also see that clear and start over. And so you have the do-it-yourself tab and also the live assisted mode tab. And these are all the different TurboTax products. You are on the free edition if you followed the first steps in the beginning. And if you do have to upgrade, you'll be able to pick whether you go to deluxe or premium or something else that they're going to ask you to maybe go to. And if you're on this real experts mode or expert assistant mode, you can only upgrade or downgrade in this column. So you can't go from this to free unless you clear and start over. But if you are on one of the do-it-yourself plans and you're accidentally on premium, you can still click downgrade to downgrade back to free. And that downgrade button is going to be right underneath the upgrade button down here. Now, in the upper left, there's this blank space here. As you're filling out your taxes, you're going to see a number there. And it's going to be either what you possibly owe estimated or what your return is going to be, what your refund is going to be estimated. And that changes as you enter information inside of TurboTax here. And you can turn that on or off here as far as your progress and being able to see that number. And then you have kind of this progress bar that shows you how far along you are within filing your taxes. And then we have this Get Expert Help. We also have a search, and the search is actually, if you do have a question, like for instance, maybe you are thinking you're going to need to file for an extension. You could type in extension here, and then you'll find like how do I file an extension for my personal taxes or personal state taxes? How do I file an IRS tax extension? There's information in here to help you. And the Get Expert Help is probably to upgrade you to one of those modes where a person can actually help you. So if you need that, that's there as well. And as you're filling this out, I'm going to click on wages and income just to show you. TurboTax is basically going to be like this. They're going to say, let's talk about your income. If you earned, yada, yada, it's going to give you like a little button that you could click on to say, oh, what's the latest income tax rates? And you can kind of see that information. And then you go to add income, right? It's going to give you a button that's the next step. So we go to add income, and it's going to ask you the questions. Do you want to work on your W-2? Do you not have a W-2? Do you just want to skip this section for now? You select something like I don't have a W-2. You hit continue, and then it's going to skip that and go to the next thing and ask you, okay, well, what about these other income possibilities? And so, did you make money from interest? No, I didn't. And then it's going to ask a next question. So you can see how TurboTax just takes you through that step-by-step process. It's really, I've used TurboTax for over 10 years. I file my taxes with TurboTax. And so that's how I know this system. It's very familiar to me. And, I think that they do a good job of guiding you through it. And for me, it's definitely worth it, even though I have to upgrade to, I think, the deluxe edition. I don't mind that. It's okay. I'm not going to be able to file my taxes for free. I'm not in that percentage, particularly because, like, if you have self-employment income, then that requires a Schedule C form. And so then that form actually kind of takes you out of that simple return, and you're not one of those 37% or so that can file for free. But that's how you can file taxes on TurboTax, and also how you can start for free and hopefully only upgrade the minimum amount. If you found that helpful, then that's great. I hope this helped you if you've never experienced TurboTax before, or you just don't know what you're doing exactly. They do a good job of guiding you through. So don't worry, you'll be able to feel confident at the end that you've covered everything with this whole tax return process. Like I said, last thing, if you want to save 20%, there's a link in the description, and it goes to help support this channel as well. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.